Owning a car is exciting, but keeping it in top shape can be a struggle. What needs checking? How often? These are the questions that make new or first-time car owners feel overwhelmed. Today, I'll break down the basics of car maintenance. Perfect for anyone who isn't a mechanic or a DIY expert. No matter what car you drive, these tips apply to all models. Stick around until the end, as I will share one crucial piece of advice that will boost your car's resale value, even if it is 25 years old. Let's start with the hood. In most cars, you'll find the hood release handle on the driver's side, usually near your left knee. Once you pull the handle, you'll notice that the hood doesn't just pop open automatically. About 90% of cars have a secondary safety latch that you need to release, often by lifting the hood a little and pulling again. This extra step is important because it keeps the hood securely closed if you forget to latch it, preventing it from bouncing around while you drive. So take a moment to learn how your car's hood release works, because it's a key part of keeping your car safe and sound. Now that the hood is open, let's talk about how to keep it safely in place. There are two common types of hood supports. Some cars have built-in gas shocks that hold the hood up on their own, while others use a manual prop rod that you have to lift and secure into place. Here's something important to keep in mind. Over time, those gas shocks can weaken. If they lose their strength, the hood might not stay up like it should, and a small gust of wind could send it crashing down. That's a serious safety risk, especially if you're checking something under the hood. So what's the best way to handle this? Some people try using a stick, mop, or even a metal rod to prop the hood open, but that's not a safe solution. If it slips, the hood can come down hard, and trust me, these hoods are a lot heavier than they look. The ideal fix is to replace worn-out hood shocks, but if you're waiting for new ones, there's a simple and safe temporary solution. You can buy a small clamp designed to lock into the shaft of the hood shock, preventing it from slipping. Just be careful, not all clamps are safe to use. Avoid using pliers or anything that could scratch or damage the shaft, as that can permanently ruin the hood shock. And most importantly, don't forget you've installed the clamp. If you try to force the hood down while it's still in place, you could bend the hood and cause serious damage. Now that the hood is safely open, let's talk about one of the most important things you should check regularly: your engine oil, which keeps your engine running smoothly by lubricating its moving parts. If the oil level gets too low, the engine can overheat or get damaged. Checking it once a month is a simple way to avoid costly repairs. Here is how to check your oil. Start the car, let it run for a couple of minutes, then turn it off and wait a minute. Open the hood and find the dipstick, usually yellow or black. Pull it out, wipe it clean, then insert it back fully. Pull it out again and check if the oil level is between the low and full marks. Here is a simple drill you can follow to add or change the oil. If the oil is low, add small amounts of the correct type, found on the oil cap or in the owner's manual. 1 quart fills the gap between the marks, so add carefully to avoid overfilling. Oil should be changed every 5,000 miles. Some car manufacturers or dealerships may recommend longer intervals up to 10,000 miles or more. If you want to play it safe and plan on keeping your car for a long time, stick to 5,000-mile intervals. If you drive less, change it once every 6 months, as old oil breaks down over time. Dark oil or metal particles mean it's time for a change. But if you notice the level dropping consistently, that's a sign of a leak or your engine burning oil. You must monitor it for a few weeks. A slow drop may be normal, but if you're losing half a quart every few hundred miles, there may be a leak or engine issue and you should see a mechanic. Now, engine oil isn't the only fluid your car needs. Other important ones include brake fluid, transmission fluid, coolant, power steering fluid, and windshield washer fluid. These should also be checked regularly and topped off when needed to keep your car running smoothly. Now, to start with your coolant, most cars have 2 coolant reservoirs, which can be confusing. You'll usually find a radiator cap with a clear warning: never open when hot. And yes, that's important. Opening it while the engine is hot can cause hot coolant to spray out, leading to serious burns. A coolant reservoir, a smaller plastic container near the radiator. This is where you should check and add coolant. It's a common misconception that you should always open the radiator cap to check coolant. In most cases, you don't need to. Just look at the coolant level in the reservoir. If it's between the minimum and maximum marks, you're good. If it's low, you need to add coolant. Another important thing to keep in mind is to always use the coolant type specified for your vehicle, as mixing different types can cause engine damage. Coolant becomes acidic acidic over time, so make sure to change it every 5 years or 50,000 miles to protect your engine. Also, remember to never open the radiator cap when the engine is hot. The system is pressurized up to 15 psi, and coolant temperatures can reach 210 degrees Fahrenheit, which can cause serious burns if released suddenly. Next is your transmission fluid, which keeps your car's gears shifting smoothly. Different transmissions, automatic, dual clutch, and CVT require specific fluids, so always check your owner's manual for the right type. Now let's talk about how to check the fluid. To check the fluid level, locate the transmission dipstick under the hood, usually toward the back of the engine bay near the firewall. If your car doesn't have a dipstick, it likely has a sealed transmission that doesn't require checking. Warm up the engine and keep the car idling in park on a level surface. Pull out the dipstick, wipe it clean, then insert it back fully. Pull it out again and check if the fluid level is between the minimum and maximum marks. Here's how to check the fluid condition. Place a few drops of fluid on a white paper towel to examine its color. Healthy fluid is reddish pink. Brownish red fluid means it's time for a change. Dark brown or black fluid with a burnt smell signals possible transmission damage. If the level is low, there's likely a leak. Look under the car. Red stains indicate transmission fluid, while black stains suggest engine oil. If you suspect a leak, monitor the fluid daily and visit a mechanic if levels keep dropping. If you need to top off the fluid, use a narrow funnel and add it through the dipstick tube, but always use the correct type of fluid for your car. If you are enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Now on to our next maintenance item, brake fluid. Brake fluid is another critical component, but unlike coolant, it doesn't expand or contract significantly with temperature. Instead, its level naturally decreases as brake pads wear down. Signs it needs replacing include a spongy brake pedal, longer stopping distances, or a dashboard warning light. Also, check its color. Fresh fluid is clear or light amber, while old fluid turns dark and murky. Brake fluid is also hygroscopic, meaning that it absorbs moisture from the air, so it's important to change it every 3 to 5 years, or as recommended in your manual. Changing it yourself might be a cumbersome process, but if you love to play around, here is how to do it. Lift the car and remove the wheels to access the bleeder valves on calipers or drums. Start at the furthest wheel from the master cylinder. Attach a hose to the valve, loosen it, and have a helper press the brake pedal to drain the old fluid. Keep the master cylinder topped up to prevent air from entering. Repeat for all wheels. For refilling and bleeding, close all valves and locate the master cylinder reservoir under the hood. Fill it with the recommended brake fluid, DOT3 or DOT4, but don't overfill. To remove air bubbles, repeat the process. Attach a hose. Have a helper press the pedal, open the valve, and close it once fluid runs clear. Finally, ensure the brake pedal feels firm and responsive. A short test drive confirms the system is working. Next is power steering fluid. It is only relevant if your car has a hydraulic power steering system, as many modern cars now use electric power steering, which requires no fluid. If your car has a reservoir, check the level based on the engine's temperature. There will be hot and cold markings. If the level is low, top it off and monitor it over time, as small leaks can worsen if ignored. One major warning sign of power steering issues is a whining noise when turning the wheel. This usually means the fluid is low, and continuing to drive like this can damage the pump, leading to a costly repair. If you hear this noise, stop the car, check the fluid, and refill if necessary before further damage occurs. It is recommended to change power steering fluid every 50,000 to 70,000 miles, or as recommended in your car's manual. Now let's talk about the engine air filter. Air filters are one of the easiest DIY maintenance items in a car. Most of them are simple to replace, and plenty of online tutorials can guide you. The key question isn't whether an air filter looks dirty, but whether it's truly clogged. To check it, locate the airbox under the hood, usually a black plastic container with metal clips. Open it and inspect the filter. If it looks gray, dirty, or clogged, replace it. Most manufacturers include air filter changes in routine maintenance schedules. If you prefer an interval to follow, replace it every 12,000 to 15,000 miles or once a year, whichever comes first. If you live in an area with a lot of dust, inspect and replace it more frequently. Many cars also have a cabin air filter that cleans the air inside your vehicle, blocking dust and allergens. It's usually found under the hood or behind the glove box. A musty smell or weak airflow from the vents means it's time for a change. Plan to replace it every year for fresh, clean air in your car. Always check your owner's manual for the exact location and replacement schedule. Car batteries are another debated topic, but here's the simple truth. If your car struggles to start or won't start at all, the 12-volt battery could be the issue. Most modern cars rely on this battery to power electrical components, including the starter. If the voltage drops too low, it won't provide enough power to turn the engine over. How to test your battery. Use a multimeter to check the voltage. With the ignition off, touch the red lead to the positive terminal and the black lead to the negative terminal. If the reading is below 12.4 volts, the battery may need replacing. Keeping your battery clean is essential, but since it contains acid, handling it with care is important. If you notice a greasy or wet-looking layer on top, that's normal vapor residue, but it should be cleaned regularly. Simply spray it with water, wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, then discard the cloth and wear gloves to protect your hands. Over time, this residue can create a conductive layer that slowly drains the battery. If you see white corrosion on the terminal, spray it with water and scrub it with a small brush. If it doesn't come off easily, a professional grade cleaner may be needed, or the terminal might already be damaged and require replacement. Here, how to know if your battery needs to be replaced. Car batteries typically last several years, with some lasting 8 to 10 years if well maintained. However, replacements can be expensive, ranging from $100 to $500, so regular checks can help you avoid unexpected failures. Once you've finished all your checks, properly closing the hood is just as important. Think of it like shutting a car door. You don't gently lower it and push it shut. You let it drop naturally from a short height. Never press down on the hood to force it closed, as this can bend the metal. Instead, let it drop and then pull on it lightly to ensure it's latched. If it pops back up, the latch may be sticking, and that's a problem that might require professional help. Ensuring the hood is securely closed is a simple but crucial step, one that can prevent serious safety issues while driving. Let's talk about tires now, one of the most significant car essentials. A well-maintained set of matching tires with good tread and the right climate rating ensures proper grip on the road. Worn-out tires can turn rainy roads into hazards, so regular checks are essential. When to replace your tires. Tires typically last 3 to 6 years or up to 80,000 miles, but this varies based on driving habits and vehicle type. Inspect your tires frequently for excessive wear, bald spots, or bulges. Most tires have tread wear indicators, but an easy trick is the penny test. Insert a penny upside down into the tread. If Lincoln's head is fully visible, it's time for new tires, or you can simply buy a cheap tire tread depth gauge to get an exact measurement. Regular tire rotation ensures even wear, extending their lifespan. Check your owner's manual for the recommended schedule, typically every 10,000 miles. However, some performance cars have different sized front and rear tires, making rotation unnecessary. While this setup improves handling, it shortens tire life. Checking and adding air to your tires. Proper tire pressure is crucial for safety and fuel efficiency. Many modern cars have tire pressure monitoring systems. TPM is, but if yours doesn't, use a pressure gauge, an inexpensive tool every car owner should have. Check the recommended PSI on the driver's side door label. Remove the valve cap and press the gauge onto the valve. If the reading is low, add air using a portable air compressor or a gas station pump. Carrying a small air compressor in your trunk can be a lifesaver, but if you rely on public pumps, keep spare change handy since many require quarters. Never drive on a flat tire. If you can't inflate it, call for a tow truck to prevent further damage. Now let's talk about the last advice in this video, which is beyond mechanical and safety checks. Keeping your car clean isn't just about looks. It helps maintain its value and prevents unnecessary wear. Here's why it matters. Regular cleaning doesn't just make your car look good. It protects the paint, prevents corrosion, and helps maintain resale value. A clean interior also keeps your upholstery fresh and free from odors. Washing the exterior, whether using an automatic car wash or washing by hand. Cleaning your car removes dirt, salt, and debris that can damage the paint. Avoid rubbing dirt directly to prevent scratches, and apply wax at least once a year for extra protection against the sun and elements. When cleaning the interior, vacuum the carpets and seats to remove dirt and crumbs. Drive up vacuums at car washes or at home work well. Wipe down the dashboard, center console, and door panels to remove dust and fingerprints. Spot treat stains as needed to keep upholstery looking fresh. How often should you clean? If you drive alone on short trips, cleaning may not be frequent, but if you take long road trips or have kids, regular cleaning is essential. Wash the exterior whenever dirt, sap, or bird droppings appear, as leaving them for too long can damage the paint. Even if you're not a car person, spending 10-15 minutes every week or two checking on your car can save you time, money, and frustration down the road. Small habits like cleaning, checking fluids, or monitoring tire pressure helps maintain reliability and extends your car's lifespan. Over time, even non-car enthusiasts develop a sense of pride and attachment when they see how well their vehicle is holding up. Taking care of your car isn't about being an expert, it's about treating it well so it lasts longer, runs smoother, and makes every drive more enjoyable. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.